this was a Vice article that I'm not sure I agree with, but I'm just going to throw it out there because it's interesting.
It is.
And Vice is coming on strong with their stuff on HBO, their specials, and doing really good journalistic work.
I was going to say, they've been having amazing articles lately.
And their website, they've been doing so. They basically good video work at first, and the website's blowing up. They're covering stuff a lot of other people aren't, a lot of other news networks aren't, because let's face it, cable news is fucking awful. Anyway, that's not what I'm getting to. They have an article about PlayStation versus Nintendo 64 was the last console war that mattered. So that's on Vice's website. And it's an interesting take that I sort of see where they're going with it, like comparing how, all right, we now analog joysticks coming out for both systems. This is the first big real competitor after Sega, dropped the ball. But I don't see it happening where PlayStation versus Nintendo was the last console war that mattered, just because they're not comparable systems, like how the Genesis was with the Super Nintendo, or how Xbox was with the PS2.
See, okay, so for me, I think, that fucking headline reads like just every nostalgia tripper who walks into the store. I mean, first of all, I think a lot of reasons why a lot of people who are our age, the age of the people who wrote this, might think that is because it was the last one that mattered to us. But two, I think the non-comparable systems does actually mean that they did truly have to fight for something. You had cartridge games. We have no load times. We have CDs. Load times, but we have FMV.
What was the battle, though?
Just which was the better system.
Because at the time, at least from my experience, it wasn't like the schoolyard sort of brawls you'd have or rows over Super Nintendo versus Genesis.
Oh, really?
Not in my experience.
That was very much my experience.
Okay.
It was very much N64, versus PlayStation. You had your time-tested properties like Zelda, versus stuff, versus all these new Japanese RPGs that were coming out that people didn't know about.
So you didn't know people that had both consoles?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I did, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a console war. It was. Now, as far as their take that it doesn't matter anymore because both systems are the same, I have to disagree there. Both systems, Xbox One and PS4, are fairly similar, but it's still a console war.
Yes.
You still have fanboys taking sides. You still have people arguing. In the end, someone is going to make more money. It's not as interesting of a console war, but we have console wars every generation.
The war now is not about the physical media. The war now is not about the controller types, because controllers, they're so similar. They have all the same things now, all these consoles.
And it's not even about exclusives really anymore.
The war is about what's the online service like? What are the features like? Is there going to be DRM on my system or not? That's what the war is now. The war is those few minor things that are distinguishing the Xbox system versus the PlayStation system. Which to me, that's why and I'm really glad that Xbox took a huge hit because of the DRM bullshit they try to pull over. And that's the reason why they basically, if not totally lost, they're losing this generation to Sony.
I hate to say it because I am going to sound like a fanboy and whatever. Fuck you in the comments. But I have a PS4 and I have a Wii, and I like them both. And as a business person, I want to see our Xbox Ones sell. But I do chuckle every time an Xbox One sits on the shelf for 3 weeks and a PS4 is gone in 3 days. It makes me laugh because I have never, especially not in retail, I haven't seen a bungle that bad. Even when 360 and PS3 were out, and PS3 was not doing very well in the beginning, a PS3 would still sell within about a week.
But people are just turned off from the Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox just does not move. And it goes back to what we said last week. These fucking idiots, the number one reason they're buying it, brand. Oh, I like the brand. Okay, you're a dipshit. Off topic. Anyways, I still think there are console wars, and those console wars always matter because other companies learn from them.
And they have to matter because the consumer wins when there's a war.
Yes.
When you have a monopoly, no one wins, which is why when people, I don't know, I even when I was a teenager, or younger, I never thought to myself, wow, I wish the Genesis didn't exist. Because then who would win? You'd have less games, less original games to play, and there's no accountability then if there's a single company running things.
Yeah, people have
the blind loyalty to these bullshit things that first of all don't matter and don't benefit you to have.
Do you
loyalty
realize
to.
Microsoft and the Xbox division don't give a fuck about you?
Yeah, it's like,
are
you getting a portion of the profits?
Do you realize Sony and the PS4 division don't fucking care that I just said I own a PS4? Like,
yes.
they don't. No one, I mean, it doesn't matter. You are nothing but advertising for them when you get that heated and passionate.
You're a
about
wallet.
it.
You're a wallet, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're a wallet that hopefully, by hook or by crook, you'll stay on their side. But when consumers went out, when there's more than one console to go for.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the main reasons I'm bummed the Vita did so poorly. Was I love handhelds, and I think the 3DS is fantastic, but I would have loved to have seen some competition.
Yeah, thankfully the 3DS is fantastic.
But still, competition would have been good. Competition,
yeah, competition is always good, just in case Nintendo did something really effed up. You have the competition that said, okay, we're going to adjust and do the opposite.
Right.
And that's why we miss WCW.